Happy Tuesday, everybody. This event is going to start at approximately 12 o'clock. So give 60 more seconds for people to come on in. Should be able to hear some nice music there. And we'll kick this off in 1 minute's time. We'll do some introductions, some housekeeping, and get right into the show. Feel free to talk, contribute, say hi, where you're from, what school you're from, what your name is in the Q&A on the right-hand side of the screen. We'd love to hear from you. Fantastic. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Amy. Hello, Alison. Great to see everybody. Hello, Sydney. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 12 o'clock. We've got no time to waste. Unfortunately, this is going to be a very, very tight session because we do have another session that is straight after this. Okay, so my name is Andrew Bowser. I'm going to be here with the lovely Jeffrey Charles. I'm going to put Jeff on the screen just so he can say hello. He's going to be co-presenting with us today. So, Jeffrey, I'm going to send you live.
Hey, good morning. Morning all. Oh, sorry, afternoon now. Just ticked over on 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it's
so
tricky,
we are
that
bang
one.
on time.
Very tricky, that one. And I'm going to send Jared Burke live. Jared Burke is going to assist us with the Q&As. Okay, so I'm just going to send Jared Burke live so we can say, hello, there's Jared Burke. He's assisting us with the Q&A. So if you've got some questions, chuck them in there. But I just want to emphasize this in the best way as possible. This is going to be a very tight and fast event. All right, things will go very fast. And we understand they'll go very fast, but we want to point out that this is being recorded. So I'm a visual learner. So maybe the best idea today is just to sit there and watch and see the potential of what it can do in terms of Microsoft Teams and how to create a digital classroom, not worry about so much how to do that, because then you can come back in the recording and watch it at your own pace. Do what I do. I'll come back and I'll pause it, see where the person clicked, play it again, pause it, see what the person, everyone learns differently. So it will be quite fast, just because we have so much to get through within the hour. But have no fear, because it is being recorded. You will get a recording link and you'll be able to go through in your own time. That way we can get through everything we need to get through, show you the full potential, and you can come back with the recording. Just go to the part that you might need for it to go a little slower with. Okay, we will try and get to a few questions. We apologize if we can't. I can't see the questions when I'm presenting. I'll try and answer some questions at the end, but we will put an email address up if you do have a question that we can't get to. So Jared Burke's going to be helping us there. I'll try and stop at certain parts to do that. Okay, let's get started with our lovely presentation. So Andrew Bowser, Jeffrey Childs, we are classroom teachers. Our email addresses are there on the screen. So if you do want to reach out to us, I'm just putting this in the recording so you can, pause this in the recording. Maybe that you want to send us a email address about a particular question. So that's our email addresses, Jeffrey Childs and Andrew Bowser. Feel free to send us an email and say hello, say where you're from. Maybe you might have a lovely little question to ask about Microsoft Teams. Okay, first things first, housekeeping. So there will be a delay between what we're doing and what you're going to see. Okay, there's about a 30-second delay. I've seen it go up to 2 minutes. So you'll be watching this in the past. We'll be presenting in the future. So we're not answering your questions or something straight away. That is the reason. Session will be recorded in HD. Okay, and there is a nice little Q&A on the right-hand side screen. So if you want to ask a question or maybe you just want to engage with the audience, please do that. Okay, we'd love to hear from you. We'll have Jared doing the Q&A while I'm presenting and Jared and Jeff is presenting. And all resources today, including the webinar, will be on some external links that we'll give to you. We'd also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we meet today. We acknowledge the role of elders past, present, future, and the importance of observing Aboriginal cultures, customs, and traditions of Aboriginal Australia. So our quick agenda here, at the moment, we're doing the introduction, acknowledgement country, and the focus on the lesson. The focus is obviously going to be on Microsoft Teams and how you can use Microsoft Teams to build digital classrooms. And I'm very passionate about Microsoft Teams. I'm very excited about Microsoft Teams to show this to you. I've been using Microsoft Teams for about 4 years now to teach my class my classes, I should say. I'm a secondary teacher, and I've seen it being utilised in the primary education sector as well. So I'm really excited to show some of these tools. We're going to get into the live demonstration with the integrated hands-on session. Hands-on only if you feel comfortable. I would recommend that you just watch this webinar, but if you've used Teams before and you kind of know your way around, you might want to jump in and just, listen and play around at the same time. But I emphasize that, probably just watch it if you're relatively new. Again, it's going to be very fast, but it is recorded. You can go back and pause it. We can't help the speed, unfortunately. It's just too much awesomeness to show. And then at the end, resources, closed, and feedback. So we're going to show you whether you're registered hour, your resources, your closed and feedback, and things like that in terms of external links. Okay, so what is Microsoft Teams? For those that don't know, it's an online classroom that brings together virtual face-to-face connections, assignments, files, and conversations into a single place, accessible on either mobile, tablet, or PC. And one of the main reasons I love using Microsoft Teams, and I find students love using Microsoft Teams as well, is the accessibility of Microsoft Teams. We've got some great platforms that Microsoft Teams work on. In fact, there's not a platform that I would argue that Microsoft Teams doesn't work on. It works on Macs, it works on iPads, it works on iPhones, it works on Android phones, it works in the browser. So if you have a computer that just has the browser, it works. It works everywhere. So you're constantly connected to this virtual classroom, which I think is really important in this digital age. Okay, these are the building blocks of a modern school. Now, a lot of these tools you might not utilize. Different schools use different tools, but we can agree on that. Obviously, digital classrooms and online teaching and learning spaces, video content plays a big role. Course materials and management of those digital classrooms play a big role. Assessments or homework, assignments, lesson streaming, they all play a big role. And we're going to touch base on each of these, or elements of these, I should say, as we go through. Okay. The reason why Microsoft Teams is a great place to investigate your digital classroom needs is because it is one central hub where everything comes in to connect. Okay, so Microsoft Teams is the virtual space, and all of the resources and the tools that you use to deliver digital classrooms, they come in through these Office 365 apps and different puzzle pieces that connect together. So you can see here, for example, we've got Word right here, we've got Excel, we've got PowerPoint. Okay, all these are designed to integrate into Microsoft Teams. Okay, so it's like when you're in a classroom, you want to show a video, okay, to your class, right? That video is hosted on Microsoft Stream. That is our video service that we use to make sure the video is safe and moderated and it's Department of Education friendly. YouTube has some limitations in terms of, obviously, some of the younger stages can't access it. Okay, but they all become connected into Microsoft Teams. And you can see down the bottom here that we have OneNote Class Notebook, which is great. We have an assignments feature in Microsoft Teams that you'll see. I'm really excited to talk about the rubric. At the top here, you'll see that we have calls. So we can actually call teacher to teacher, even if it's on a mobile phone, using Microsoft Teams to collaborate and communicate. Students can't call each other. We will show you what a student interface looks like very soon. We can chat. Teachers can chat with each other. We can chat with the students. Students can't chat with each other. So it's a very safe, modernized environment. This is what I love Microsoft Teams. And it's one space where you have multiple classrooms. Okay, so it could be one-on-one student learning, could be a whole cohort of students within a class. So it is fantastic. Now, where do you go to get to Microsoft Teams? The Office 365 is our source of truth. Okay, so when you log into your portal, and we'll do this live, you click on My Learning Tools. You can see there on the left-hand side. And then you're going to click on Office 365. Okay, there's a big button there that says Office 365. You can press that Show Details button and pin that to your Essentials bar. And you can see there I've pinned that next to my Adobe Connect and my G Suite Google Apps for Education. Okay, that way I can access Microsoft Teams on the regular by going through my Office 365, my DOE portal hub. Okay, once you click on Office 365, you're going to see your Office 365 suite of apps. So everything from your OneDrive, your Word, your Excel, your PowerPoint. This is how you design everything, your digital classroom that goes into Teams. Okay, so all of these applications All right, all of these, they all connect into Teams. And this is why I love Teams, because all of your experiences are in one spot. You just have to click on that Office 365. If I want to make an assignment, I'll go to Word. If I want to make a form, I'll go to Microsoft Forms over there. If I want to make a presentation for my students, I might go to Sway, or I might use PowerPoint. All right, so many different varieties that you can do there, all right, in terms of connecting these experiences. Okay. You will sign into Microsoft Teams using your first or last name at det.nsw.edu.au. Students obviously use their @education accounts. Federated login, so completely secure, and then you'll be greeted with this screen called Microsoft Teams homepage. And this is all the teams that you might be a part of, okay? And up in the top right that you can see there, that's basically where you would join or create a brand new team. All right, so that's the basics of 101 on how to get to Teams, how to join or create a team, how to get to that space. What we're going to do now, we're going to throw it over to Jeffrey Childs. He's going to show us what it looks like from a student's perspective, because I find that to be really valuable as a teacher, as an educator. How do students get there, and what does that look like from their point of view? So Jeffrey is a lovely father of his daughter, and he's actually going to be using his daughter's account with his daughter's permission, to show you what it looks like from a student's perspective, because I think that is invaluable. So Jeffrey Childs, I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen. I'm going to throw it over to you. And we'll get you to share some of your content there and show us what does it look like from a student's perspective when they're going to Microsoft Teams.
Thanks, Andrew. And what I will do is just flick across, and hopefully you should be able to see my desktop now.
100%. Thank you.
There we go. Okay, so what I've done is I've actually opened up just an in-private browser, and this allows me to log on with my daughter's account. Now, I will say that she was a bit adamant in what would be going up there, but I rest assured her she was okay, that nothing will be inappropriate, of course, and some decent jokes will be up there if needed. She didn't want to have those under her name. I'm a dad, what else can I do? So let's have a look at that. Let's go through what it's like. Now we obviously head to the student portal, and so I'll just do that now. Often if you're signing in, you'll have the typical prompt to go through with portal.det, NSW is the most direct. What I'm going to do is grab Anna's account, and that should take me right through into her portal dashboard. Now, it is very different to what we have. They don't need all the other essentials there that we often have that fills our screens. They have the very basic, a couple of things looking at the library, of course, but what we're going to do is under bookmarks and sitting into learning is the Microsoft Office 365 link from there. Clicking on that, that'll take me straight through to the Office portal. And so I'm just going to click yes to that one. And the great thing about the Office portal is that it allows them to have the same feel that we have. However, they've just got a reduced number of apps. So you see along here, OneDrive for storage online, but then Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, and over here, Teams. And that's what we're looking at, obviously, today. I will note that if you do have students that have bring your own device, they don't need to purchase any Office 365 products. They can just click here, Install Office, and that will allow them to download and install up to 5 devices for their PC, 5 for iPad and 5 for Android. But anyway, let's have a look at Teams. And so I jump in from Teams. This will take me through to our Teams homepage, but it's the student point of view. And so what you'll notice is there is a reduced number again of things that they can access. And so when it gets here, what I'll do is turn that off. And so down on the left-hand side here, you'll see the activity. And that is, I guess, the typical activity you would find within Teams. And so that's a good point where they can be referring to see what's been happening. You can see here that she is a part of a few classes, and sadly she's had to, go in and amongst a couple of other classes in our professional learning that we are running all this next couple of weeks. However, what we want to focus on is the Teams side of things here. So I'm going to click on Teams. Okay, what you'll notice is there's also no option for calls, as Andrew said, no options for chatting, which makes obviously Microsoft Teams a great option for kids in a secure environment. Now, the teams that she's been enrolled in will appear in this space here, but if she wants to actually join a team, you might decide, you know what, I don't want to be emailing all of my students and allowing them to get them to sign up. What I'm going to get them to do is actually join via a code. And so if I click on the join team with a code, I as a teacher will pass out that code to my students and they can go from there. However, Andrew is going to be setting up a team and he's going to show us how that will then correspond onto Anna's team straight away. And this will allow her to be in and amongst this team here. So over to you, mate. If you want to have a look and get that set up, then we should be right to go and getting Anna into the new classroom.
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to share my screen again, all right? And what we're going to do, I just want to point out too, I'll just make myself live right there. I want to point out that we're going to be showing everything from a live perspective, okay? So what that means is that I'm actually going to be using real syllabus content. And we're going to make this as realistic as possible, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the science and technology syllabus, the Earth and Space topic. I'm a big fan of Earth and Space, but I always find this to be really valuable to use New South Wales syllabus content if you're actually going to be teaching this using a digital online teaching and learning environment, okay? So I've selected the Earth and Space topic within the science and technology K-6 syllabus. We're going to be using that to build our digital classroom today. All right, so right at the start here, you can see our lovely profile photos. We're going to create your class team. We're going to do that right now. And then we're going to add and pin your content to your lesson, okay? And then at the end of this hour, you'll be able to go in and prepare your own lesson, and then you can invite your students, okay? So we're not going to focus too much on the logistics of what each button does. We have a webinar for that, a pre-recorded video. If you want to know the specifics of adding students and the specifics of turning notifications on and off, we have a separate training video for that, okay? We're more concerned today about building a digital classroom and showing you how that can work, and then you can backtrack and pause that and go watch some of the other videos about the nitty-gritty of Microsoft Teams. Okay, let's do it. Let's go live. So here I am. I'm on my Office portal again. All right, very simple to do. And over here, you can see my learning tools. Okay, that's going to take me, just like you saw in the screenshots there, to this Office 365 button. All right. And if I click that, you're going to see exactly what you saw on Anna's homepage. So we've got that continuity going on there. There are all of my Office 365 applications. We are interested in Microsoft Teams for today, okay? So I'm going to click on Microsoft Teams, and just like what you saw on Anna's screen, it's going to take us to our landing page. Now, yours might look like this, and you'll have no teams, okay, to join, all right? But in a second, we are going to create and join our very first team. But I want to show you what the end product would look like first, okay? So on the left-hand side, I've already got a team that I've set up, okay, that we set up earlier. It's just called Creating Digital Classrooms. And you can see here that this is our Earth and Space Stage 3 classroom, okay? So you can see I've got an announcement here that's welcoming everybody, all right? I've set some class rules into this space, so respect each other, be polite, etc., all right? So that's what that would look like. And then you can see down here, I've actually put some models just to get them in the right mind frame of space exploration, all right? So for example, Teams supports 3D models, which is fantastic. So let's just say that I clicked on this Mars rover model, or maybe a student clicked on this Mars rover model. It's gonna bring up this virtual space where they can see the models. Maybe they can see Mars, they can see Earth, they can do amazing things. Maybe I want them to do an activity where they have to create their own planet and they have to write a story about, you know, what is the habitable zone, what are the biomes, where would that planet live? You know, I could click on Earth over here, for example. Teams supports 3D models, Teams supports videos, Teams supports files, presentations, Word documents. Is sensational for a teaching and learning environment. If I wanted to talk to my students about Earth, hi everyone, here we can learn about Earth, all right? We can have a conversation about these 3D models in real time using the conversation tab just on the right, all right? Again, don't worry about the nitty gritty just for now. We just want to show you the potential, okay? So, you know, we've got some 3D models in there, all right? Up the top here, okay, you can see that I've got my files, so all the files where the 3D models would live. Assignments, so homework I'd like to send out to the students. The grades, so what the students got. And insights will tell me how often the students have been working when they have been working, and when did they open their assignment. And I find this to be fantastic for analytics. Okay, you could click on this and you can get the digital activity, the average grade, how many assignments were on time, and I can have a look here. When did Anna open her assignment? When did Jeffrey open his assignment? Okay, so if I hover over that, it will give us some great details, okay, of what assignment did they view? How often were they viewing it? All right, and this is great for online teaching and learning because you don't have to be at the computer 24/7. You can kind of check in maybe at the end of the day, halfway through the day, and see how the students have been going. On the left-hand side, we've made some channels here. We're going to show you how to make these. I've set my channels up into each individual homework task. So I click on task 1, space introductions, okay, you can see here that I've got some stuff in this channel. So each channel being like a spare virtual room within the team. Okay, so I've got a nice little announcement explaining what this space is and how this space works. All right, so I'll zoom in just so people can see. And I've added the task up the top. Now this is a read-only task, just so students can get familiar with what the homework they're going to get. All right, but I don't want them to change it because it's like a template. So if I click on that, or if a student clicks on that, you can see that this is the task that the student will do. So you're an astronaut, you know, on the outer rim. Write an introduction about bringing three gifts to a new planet. And again, I can talk about my assignment with all of my students right here. Now, this is just a template. This is read only. They can't edit this. Okay, this is just so they can get familiar with what's happening. But also, maybe I want to do a check and connect. This is a form. Okay, so if I click that, that will boot up a form that I want students to do. How well do they understand the task? Maybe they have you watched the video about me explaining the task. Okay, so I hit play there. It's literally a video of me explaining the task digitally, you know, remotely. So it's asynchronous learning. They can use this to learn in their own time because students might clock in at 11, students might clock in at 1. I have the task right there. I'm explaining the task. Okay, they can answer these questions. Yes, sir, I watched the video. Okay, great. What day best suits you to talk about the task? And they can answer these. Okay, Tuesday, 10 a.m. works for me. Okay, great, fantastic. What about Thursday? 1 p.m. works for me. You can get all of this data to check in with your students. And this one I love. Can you upload any work or drafts of your task that your teacher might want to have a look at before it's due? And they can upload their own file, okay? And I've just pinned all of these things at the top of our space, all right? So the task, I've pinned the video, all sorts of things. And that lives in our task 1, all right? All right. Task 2 is very similar, okay? So same concept, I've pinned some things at the top, like their task, know your neighbors, where they have to fill out this form about the different facts of each planet, okay? All right, task 3 might be a planet presentation. So I've actually pinned a PowerPoint to the top of their task right there. So I want them to build a presentation. And you're going to notice that we haven't left Teams. So we're keeping it really easy for students. Students can literally work and do their presentations all in Teams. So we've got Word documents, we've got forms and quizzes, we've got PowerPoint presentations. It is fantastic. And of course, we've got check and connect, so a well-being space, okay? So they can come in here and we can check to see how they're going. The last one I have here is a collaboration space, all right? So these documents are collaborative, which means students can work on these together. It's like a draft before they get their assignment. All right, one last thing I want to show you, because I know time is very precious, but if I go back to the general tab, all right, and again, this is just a demo team. We'll go back and make one. If I click on the assignments, I can see what assignments I've sent out to the students. So these could be homework assignments, these could be formative, summative assignments, completely up to you. But if I click on an assignment, I can see here that one of these assignments have been turned in. It's been turned in by Jeff Childs, okay? And Anna hasn't turned in. I've got all of these analytics about, did they view it? Did they turn it in? Can I click on Jeff's assignment and see what he did? Okay, so I could go down there and go, oh, great. Jeff has written a story with his daughter about what they are going to bring to their planet. Okay, I could mark that assignment because I've attached a rubric. All right, and this is the greatest thing about building digital assignments. Where did that rubric come from? Right here. This is the Stage 3 Earth and Space rubric that I have from the New South Wales syllabus. And I've taken just these outcomes here, so ST3 2DP, ST3 3DP, and I've put them to my assignment. We'll show you how that works. So if I want to mark this assignment now, this is fantastic. You'll love this. I've got my rubric on the right-hand side here, okay? And all I have to do is select the outcomes that Anna or Jeff has achieved, and it will automatically start giving that a grade, okay? So you're actually assessing real syllabus outcomes with real work, with very little fuss. It is fantastic. So if I want to select a different outcome, I just select the outcome, and I can select a different outcome. Sound good, has displayed a strong capacity, has demonstrated in detail a strong capacity, and you can see here that it's automatically calculating a grade for Jeff. So there we go. I've selected a few outcomes that Jeff has achieved with this task, and it's given Jeff a 42 out of 50 based on the weighting I assigned to each outcome. It is sensational. It is sensational. And then I can return that and give Jeff more customized individual feedback, or I can edit that mark right there if I want to make it maybe something a bit more specific, okay, that isn't weighted, 33% per outcome. One other thing we want to highlight, and this is essential before we start spending the last half an hour showing how to set stuff up, immersive reader. One of the biggest issues that we have is that when students are learning via distance education or via online teaching and learning, that they need support for independent learning. We have immersive reader built into our assignment tasks, okay, which is sensational. So say, for example, that a student is struggling to understand what the task is. We can do things like change the font size for the student, or the student can do this individually, increase the spacing, okay, change the text and page color of the assignment, okay. We could turn on the nouns or the syllables. So I'll show you what it looks like. That's what the assignment looks like. For a student, that can be very hard to read, right? There's a lot of words, there's a lot of white space. So a student might go, like me, I prefer black with white text. That makes it better. I know everyone prefers Comic Sans font, so I'll turn that one on. All right. I can increase the spacing to make it a little bit easier for me to read. Okay, let's turn that on. I can turn on the nouns so I understand what the nouns are. Peace, astronaut. I could turn on the verbs. Okay, come, are, discovered. All right. I can even go further and enable line focus. So I'm just focusing on the part that I'm reading. All right. I have a pitch dictionary on there as well. So if I don't know what the word astronaut is, or maybe discovered, I could click the word. It's going to bring up pictures to help me understand. And this is an amazing feature to assist students with independent learning, because we could send any form of work and turn on immersive reader. All right. Let's just say we have a student that speaks a second language. All right. English might not be their main language. We can translate the entire document into over 65 different languages just by clicking a button. And then we can have that read aloud to us by hitting the play button in the native language that you've selected. It is amazing. I love Immersive Reader. It is an amazing learning tool. You can do it on messages. You can do it on assignments. It is great. Anyway, so that's a rough demo on what a really great setup classroom looks like. So let's talk about how you make something like this, where you've got your assignments, you've got your different spaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a new class, and then I'm going to get Jeff to talk about the advantages of creating different spaces, okay, while I'm creating some of those, those little channels, all right? So the first thing we'll do when we log into Teams is that we're going to click this button that says join or create a team, okay? So I'm going to click that button right there, and now I've got two options. Create a team, now students won't see that option, or join a team. Students will only see that option. You don't want students making their own independent teams, of course. So I'm going to click on create a team, and I've got four options here. Obviously, we're interested today in making a digital classroom. So we're going to click class. And it's good to note that class is the only team that has the assignments function. Okay. If you're making a staff team to collaborate on work remotely, or maybe you have a TEEC, or maybe you have a faculty, or whatever it may be, you might want to make a staff team. Okay, so I'm going to click on class. I would name my class, let's call this Digital Classroom Tuesday. Okay, click next. And then this is where we would add our students. So I'm going to actually add Anna, which is Jeffrey Childs, my co-presenter's daughter. And I'm going to also add Jeff. Now, Jared, while I'm doing this, are there any questions that we probably should throw out while I'm just adding my teachers and students there?
A few questions that have come through the chat, Andrew. Someone wanted to ask about and I'm sure you'll bring this up later on, about other opportunities for more PL beyond the basic. Will you be sharing anything there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all based on demand. We can do so much in Teams, and we have no time, right? So I'm today showing you how you can make a digital classroom, how you can set up some of the channels, the spaces, how you can tab things on the top, and how you can set an assignment with rubric marking. But yes, if you want more detail, 100%. We will be doing webinars all throughout the term. Yep.
People also were very interested in where you got those 3D models from, and I'm sure you'll share those that link later on.
Yeah, 100%. 3D models are coming from this application called Paint 3D, which is on every Windows 10 machine. Okay, every Windows 10 machine, just down the search bar, type in Paint 3D, okay, or you can find it in the Windows Store, and that's where I got my models from, which is fantastic. There's thousands of models, all educational friendly, really good. Yep.
If you're on an iOS with iPads, are they required to download the app, or will it work through the browser?
Yeah, so good question. iOS phones and iPads, it preferably wants the app, but you can use Safari as the browser itself. Works better in the app, we'll say that. But the app and the web, it's a trade-off. Accessibility, browser. Like I'm using the browser today, works fine, looks fine. The app is faster, the app is more stable. I'd recommend using, the app, but you can still use the browser. Yep.
Also, a couple people asked if you could, is this team going to be made available, or the document to be shared so people can refer to your example later on?
Yeah, fantastic. Good question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a public joinable team. We're going to put the code in the link because obviously you're going to have more questions later. 100%. We can't get through all the questions today. There's hundreds of people in this webinar. So what I will do, I will tell you this. If you want to go back and watch the recording is your joining link. Okay, so if you clicked, the link that you clicked to get in here in the first place, when this is over, click that again and it will play the recording of this so you can go through and pause it. All right. I will make a team and I'll keep this team open for 3 days. So if you have any further questions and you do join this team, right, you can just ask them in here. All right. And then I'll archive the team. Okay, we got to keep going or we will run out of time. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to join the team. All right. We have a whole video on how to get students to join a team with a link, with a code, with an email, whatever it may be. But I'm just going to bring up a code here. Now to bring up the code, I'm clicking this little ellipses. I'm going to click on Manage Team. Okay. And under Settings here, you're going to see a button that says Team Code. All right. And I'm going to generate a team code right now. Now, I don't like anything that has any zeros in it because students get confused between a 0 and a 0. So I'm going to hit this reset button. And I'm going to pick something that has no zeros or noughts, like that. Oh, that's got an L, so I don't like an L or an I. Just be very mindful of that. I just keep hitting refresh until I find something that works, like this one. This one looks like tasty. So I'm going to put that in the chat for people. And Jared, can you just keep an eye on that code so people that want to join, and please just focus on the webinar so you don't get lost if you don't feel comfortable in Teams. But let's talk about how you set up this digital classroom. So you're in a blank classroom, just like what I've made. All right, there's nothing in here. The first thing I would do is create our virtual spaces. So on the left-hand side here, we have these little spaces called channels. Okay, we have a general channel. This is like general chit chat. All right, it is a default channel. I want to add more channels. Okay, so I would click this little ellipses and I'm going to add more channels. Now you can set this up to however your classroom's going to look, okay? So I'm going to add the first one, and then I'm going to get Jeff to talk about the advantages of having channels. So say, for example, I wanted a space for task 1, space introductions discussion about their homework, all right? I've put a little 1 in front of it because it orders them based on numerical value. All right, so you can't order them at this point yourself unless you kind of 1, 2, 3 or put A, B, C or whatever it may be. All right, I want to make sure that it's public because we can make private spaces where maybe we're just doing 101 with a student, like 101 support. I would make a private space just for me and that student, and I can support that student without, any disruptions from the class. But I'm going to keep that public. And the last thing I'm going to do is tick this. I want to make sure it shows up in Anna's feed, for example. All right, so I'm going to tick that one. So there we go. I've added my very first space called task 1. All right, we call these channels. So if I click on that, general channel, task channel, general channel, task. Everything stays within its own channel. Okay, so just to reiterate, this is our team and these are our channels within that team. All right, it's like a building and the different rooms in the building. Okay, I'm going to make a few more channels. You can watch me do them while I get Jeff to talk about some of the advantages of creating these spaces. Jeff, I'm going to just put your photo live, but leave my screen on there while we're creating these.
No dramas, Andrew. It's looking good so far, mate. And I like the way you're slowly piecing together the classroom. It does take a little while. You want to think about how you want to structure it. I'm actually a secondary teacher that teaches in the HISI faculty, arguably the best in the school because we cover so much. And I'm a business studies teacher and economics teacher as well. And if I was going to sit down and think about what sort of team I want to put together and how I want to structure it, I would be using each of those channels probably for the individual subjects within business studies. So marketing, we're looking at finance, we're looking at human relations. And these are the ways that I would put my little sections together. Each channel itself allows me to have then specific content that's actually focused in and around that. You saw Andrew had the ability to make some of them private, and so you can add additional content into there that only specific people can be using. So you might have students you just need to supply extra content to that may have, I guess, want to be able to just keep that in the one space, or maybe specific to those that want to extend a bit further. Okay, and so you're providing additional content, but not putting pressure on anybody else to do that. So you can often think about how you structure your team in that sort of space. As Andrew said, with each of the different channels that you've got, you'll have different tabs that sit across the top that are unique to that channel itself. So you'll have your files, you'll have your posts or your conversations, but each of these also are specific into that little folder space already on its own. And you can be adding, as a teacher, you can be adding more different tabs across the top, and it could be specific to that. So let's just say it's some spreadsheets for the finance world that you want students to slowly start working through and showing them how to do some basic accounting. But it also could be other websites that they need to do, videos. And if you like the concept of flipped learning, you might want to be putting videos up there using Microsoft Stream to showcase the current topic that you're working your way through. So this is quite straightforward. It's an easy way of designing a classroom that's quite succinct, and students come in very easily into that space and they can see everything laid out in front of them. Over to you, mate. I think we're good to go to keep pressing on. I'll get Anna.
Thank you very much. Now, I've made those channels just while Jeff was describing that. You can see them over here. These are our spaces, okay? And I've just made an announcement in our very first space. Welcome to Stage 3 Earth and Space. Now down the bottom here, this is where we communicate in our team. Students have the same features. So I can, for example, press this button to make an announcement, okay? I could press this button to upload a file. I could press this button to add a sticker. I could add a GIF, which are moderated, just so you know. I could add more stickers. I could start a video call, okay, within the channel. So say, for example, hey, Anna, do that. We could make a video call and anyone within that channel can join that video call. We can collaborate and share files and do all sorts of amazing things. I'm not going to do that right now because our video is being utilized for this presentation, okay? But they're our channels and that's our space. Each channel will have its own space. Up the top here, these are basically our tabs. So it's like pinning different web pages to the top of a space. So let's just say, for example, I wanted to, hey Trish, hello. I wanted to go over to task 1, okay? And I'm going to put some work up here, all right? The first thing I would do is I would go to my files tab and I'm going to upload the work that we're going to be doing, okay? Now, you're going to notice that, whoops, sorry, let's go back to our, I was in the collaboration, sorry, I was in the collaboration space. If I go back to the general channel, okay, you're actually going to see a files tab. Now, each channel has their own files tab up the top, okay? And the files can be individually uploaded to the channel, right? So if I go back to this general tab, all right, and I click files, I can upload files into a little folder called class folder, okay? There it is, class materials. These are all read-only materials. So I could drag them into there, all right? And that means that they're going to be read-only. Anything outside of this will be collaborative files, so students can work on them together, all right? But I can move them and put them wherever I want to be. So I haven't got any in there, but it's very easy to put them in there. And they're all the files. So you can notice that each channel now has no files in it because I put them in the general channel, okay? If I want to talk about a task, like in task 1, for example, I could go down to this paperclip, okay? And I can add stuff from my Google Drive. So it doesn't have to be a Microsoft product. I can add stuff from OneDrive, or I can add stuff from different channels. So obviously I put all my files in the general channel. So I would click this one and I would go back and I could add something from the general channel. So you can see there, it's just like little folders, all right? And I want to upload task 1. All right, and I'm going to upload a brand new copy. That's how easy it is. Now, everyone can collaborate on this document. All right, so there's our very first task. I could tag people about this task. I could pin people about this task. So I could click on that task and everyone can have a conversation about this task. It is great. It is really, really great. So I would go through and add different tasks like you saw in our earlier example to each section. So all the conversations are in each section. Or I want to make this channel or this space a bit more lively for students to learn. So I could hit this plus icon at the top of a channel and I can add anything here. So remember when we logged into Office 365? So if I go back here through our portal, we had all of these apps. We can bring anything over into our team to enhance our channel and our learning experience, our digital classroom. So let's just say I wanted to bring up a quiz I wanted them to do. Let's add a form, Earth and Space quiz, and click save. Okay, now a quiz is in the classroom. Now we have a whole separate video on how to make quizzes and how to make your own quizzes. It's called Microsoft Forms. So we made the quizzes in Forms, and you'll notice that everything we just made in each one of these applications, okay? And we put them in Teams. We just bring them over. That's the greatest thing about Teams. So now you have a full-on quiz that is self-marking that students can do within the Space Introductions channel. If I want to go back to the conversation, I'll just click on Posts, okay? There we are. There's our quiz for you to, play around and explore. Let's just say that I want to add a website for them to get more support on. I hit the plus icon and I can add a website, any website you like. So maybe I've got a great support site on Earth and Space, so ABC Education, for example, all right? And I could go to http://education.abc.net, all right? Click save. And now I've just added the ABC site on there that we could access once I get my URL right? So let me add that right there. Let's just make sure that we got our ABC Education. And what do I put? Oh, education.abc.net.au, silly. So I could go through and I could edit this, all right? So let's say I wanted to remove that and I wanted to add another site, paste my web link so you don't get it wrong. All right, ABC Education, click save, and now you have external websites in your team, okay, which is fantastic. And you can keep customizing this to whatever you want. Maybe I have a video, okay, that I want to add here that's all about how students are learning, all right? So what I could do to get my video, I could go over to my portal, remember our portal of apps, I could click our video service called Microsoft Stream, and I could create or grab a video that I've made earlier in the week about this assignment. So you can see here, here's a video called Formative Assessment. So I could take that video, copy the link, and again, I could put that into Teams, okay? So let's add a video. And again, I know this is going very fast, but you'll be able to come back and pause this and go through at your own time. So I've just added a video to our space, okay? So if students need help on their assignment, they can watch this video. I might be referring to the website in that video, but we've done something special here. This video right here, you'll notice that there's a little dot. We've actually added a form into our video. So when the students get up to this part, it opens up a form for them. So I could be saying, hey guys, I'm just checking in today, seeing how you're going with the classroom activity. Can you please fill out this wellbeing check and connect form so I understand where everyone's at? Okay, and they can do that whenever they want. And you can see here, here's our nice little form. All right, it's just so much that you can do, but we are running out of time. So they are tabs, okay? They are tabs at the top, all right? And they are channels on the side, okay? And you can keep adding tabs to each channel and make it really customizable. Let's talk about assignments, because that is a big part with online teaching and learning and digital classrooms. So what I would do here, I'm going to click on assignments, okay? And I'm going to get started by creating a very first assignment, all right? So I'm going to click create, add an assignment. Now this could be homework for your students, all right? So we give the assignment a task. Now I'm going to make this our space introductions assignment, all right? So that task that we pinned at the top and that task that I put into Teams, all right? I'm going to put that task here, all right? And then for that task, what I would do is I'm just going to open that task and copy my instructions in there, okay? So Jared, while I'm doing that, shoot away a few more questions.
Absolutely. Quite a few people have asked about importing class lists as you to build your class space.
Great. Can't import class lists, but what you can do is give them a join code, invite them manually, as in type in their manual email addresses that you've downloaded from Central, or send them a joining link. And we have all of that information in a separate video that we can link to at the end. So yes, they click a link, they get thrown into the classroom. They enter a code, they get thrown into the classroom, or you manually enter them. Yep.
Cool. One good thing to remember with that is that it's only once you put them in, once like writing in your daybook for the start of the year, once they're in the classroom, then they don't have to enter any more. They just log into Teams, it starts straight away for them.
Absolutely.
When you embed a Word document into your team, how do you make it view only?
Yeah, great question. If you want to be view only, and I'll just show you a nice little feature. I can save this assignment and then come back to it. Make sure that you put it in the class materials folder. And then when you're going to put it into a team, okay, you're going to select this paperclip and you're going to select browse teams and channels. And you are going to go to class materials. Anything that you put from here will be a read-only document. So they can click it, they can view it, but they can't do anything with it, okay?
Can you import anything from Google Drive into your Microsoft space?
Yes, you can. So we can even add our Google Drive as a not Google Drive, but our Google Classroom as a website and pin it within a team. Or you can actually click this add storage device and you can see I've already added my Google Drive. Again, one spot for everything. OneDrive, Google Drive, you name it, it's there. It's great. It is
Someone
great.
was asking, what are the advantages of Teams over something like Google Classroom? Are we able to address that here, or is that for?
Look, they're all great. There's no, each of them have their advantages and disadvantages. Teams probably has more features, but it's probably a bit more complicated, right? Google probably has less features, but it's more simplistic. There's all these different. I love them all, and it's really up to you on which one you want to go with. But do your due diligence and do your homework.
Lucky last, about can you make channels visible to students on particular days, or do they all be visible at once? Like if you want to release tasks on a calendar type setup.
Yeah. So what you could do is you can make channels and then you can delete the channels. You can make private channels for only particular students. But yes, you can't make them appear and reappear, if that makes sense. We can hide channels, but they can find them if they dig around enough. Yeah, 100%. I'm going to be fully transparent there. Okay, great. So let's keep going. I'm going to quickly show you this rubric system because rubrics, outcomes, huge part of learning, and we are running out of time. All right, I've got about 5 minutes to show you this. So here we go. Let's show this. I'm going to upload the space introductions. Oh, I've got it open. Great. Close that. I'm going to upload space introductions assignment. Okay, so there we go. We've uploaded that. I've called it a name. I've added instructions. I've added the assignment, but see how it says students can't edit? That could be a reference material. So I want to change that so students can edit their own copy. All right. I could also add, maybe I want to add a link and I want to add that video about getting students to, that's a great still, adding that video to getting students to have video support. So not only will they get the assignment, but they'll also get a video that supports them on how to do that assignment. I've added some points, so it's out of 20. That's just my marks. This is super important. Add a rubric. Now, if I click add rubric, I've made lots of rubrics before, okay? And what I'm going to do is add a pre-made rubric I've made. Now, how do you make a rubric? So easy. Just click add new rubric. And this rubric here, I've actually made from the syllabus content. So I literally just opened up the syllabus and I copied and pasted some of these outcomes in there. And you can actually see there that each part of my rubric is weighted 33%. So these are my outcomes, okay? And then you've got has in detail, you know, has a good understanding, has a limited understanding, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And each one will mark this, give it a mark 33% based on what I assign. So I'm going to attach that rubric there. You've got your due date, your time, what students do you want to send it to? So that's everyone that's joined the team. And then click assign, okay? That's going to send the homework out to a student that's due tomorrow at midnight. Sorry, guys, apologize. And what you would do there is I'll get actually Jeff or Anna to actually do their assignment. And the last thing I will show you is how to grade the assignment because it is fantastic. All right. So while that's being sent out there, I want to jump into that other team that we made earlier because we know that's already ready, just in the interest of time. I'm going to click on assignments. Okay. Click on this assigned assignments. All right. So these are the assignments that I've sent out. And what you do is you just click on the assignment that a student has turned in, okay? And then if you want to mark it, just click on rubric, okay? And then I can go through here and select the different outcomes a student has achieved with this assignment, and it will change the total weighting. Now you can see there, I know it's a little small, but it says 50 out of 50, all right? If I go, she did good, demonstrates a strong capacity to plan, conduct scientific investigations, advance or testable questions, and collects good summaries, amounts of data. It's given her 46 out of 50. Keep going down, it's given her 42 out of 50, because I have that weighted 33% for each outcome, okay? All right, so I've got 3 outcomes. You can see the weighting. You can customize that weighting, completely up to you. If I only had 2 outcomes, all right, maybe it's gonna weight them 50% each, okay? So really good tools. Assignments are fantastic. Once you've handed out your assignments, make sure you check out the Insights tab. And that's just a tab that you add, just like adding a video or a form or a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, and then that way we can see who's looked at the assignment, when they've handed in the assignment, their version history of the assignment. So if I jump back to our team that we were in, Digital Classroom Tuesday, click on assignments, okay, and I can click on that and I can see, for example, how many I have to grade, how many have been graded, okay. I have a student view. I can see that it's still sending the assignments out, okay. And then we've got our own little mark book in here as well, which you can export to Excel. I can see all of my students. Have they looked at it? Have they turned it in? Have they not touched it whatsoever? It is fantastic. There's so much that you can do in Microsoft Teams for creating digital classroom environments. And there we go. There's Anna's looked at it. David Kidd has looked at it, and everyone else, naughty. They have not looked at their assignment. So we're pretty much out of time. So there's a few things that we need to go through, ladies and gentlemen, with some logistics, just while we're answering some questions there. I know it's very fast. And I know that it goes through just like that. Hey, what'd you press and how'd you press on it? It is being recorded, and please go back and watch it, pause it in your own time, just so you can get the full analytics of what is going on. And not only that, but the step-by-step process on what is going on. Okay, so let's just recap. We've created our class team space. Okay, we've added and pinned our content to our lesson. We've gone through assignments and rubrics. And now it's up to you to start preparing, okay? Your next steps are going to be, record your Meet Now videos, start making forms, start making presents, start making your content or bringing your content into the team, all right? We have this great deck of slides that show you exactly step by step that, I'm just doing this so it is in the video, so you can pause this and have a look at each one. All right, but it's basically everything that I was displaying with you, like individual student progress, the grade system, all right, how many people can be in a meeting at one time, about recordings, and this one's really important, where to get more resources. So someone earlier asked, how do I get more resources? Right there, there's some great links, aka.ms/those links right there. We also have learning on demand. So there's plenty of learning on demand courses that we have as well. So lots of courses that you can access for learning on demand to get more support with Microsoft Teams and Office products. The recording is going to be on 1088 on the STEM T4L page board. Okay, there's a link there, but you can also click the joining link. It'll take you back to this recording. All right, and one very important one, if you have further questions, there is an email address right there that you can reach out to us, and we'll get Jared to put that into the chat. Please register your One Nessa registered hour. The link is bit.ly/teamspowerup. Okay, we'll put that. Jared, can you put that into the chat for me? You can scan that QR code, but I'm going to have to take this slide away because we literally have 3 minutes before we have to wrap this up, turn this off, and go away. If you do have a question, feel free to send us an email. Our emails are at the start. Click the joining link again, watch the recording, just pause it on the emails, send us an email, all right? Send us an email to Online Teaching and Learning. We try to get through most of these questions. I'm sure there's a lot of questions we didn't get a chance to, but I'll go through in my own time after this and chase up any questions I didn't get to answer live and try and reach out to you. Okay, but please send us an email if there's something you really need to be answered. So Jared, did you put that into the chat there? Teams Power Up, bit.ly/Teams Power Up. So I won't be able to leave that up there for too long. We have to jump off. There is another session starting straight after us. So you can even pause it. Like, you can control your recording right now. Hit the pause button on your screen and it will pause this recording. It just means that you'll be more into the past, and you can take as long as you want to take screen grabs of all of this. You can click the slider while you're watching this right now. Slide back in time, like literally right now. Slide back in time and watch certain parts again. This isn't, happening. It is happening right now, but you can do that right now. Okay, but thank you so much for everyone joining us. I'd love to stick around. We have to jump off. We really have to jump off. The session started at 1 o'clock. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We hope we could show you some amazing things using the power of Microsoft Teams. And we'll have another webinar next week on utilising presentation tools to enhance student learning. So that's a great one. Keep an eye out for T4L events on that one as well. Anything we want to say just before we jump off? We've got literally 60 seconds, gentlemen.
No, guys, and look, can I just say, Andrew, obviously, if you do have any questions, shoot them through. We're more than happy to help. And we just want to make sure that everybody's comfortable in what they're doing. They're pushing the right content out to their students that are at home, obviously learning. And we look forward to the day when we can all be back in the classroom. But remember, you can always use this in the classroom when they're always together as well. But other than that, talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a lovely Tuesday. Bye-bye.
So, Ron, bye.